Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village nestled among rolling green hills, lived a young boy named Jack with his mother. Their life was simple, but lately, it had become a struggle. Their only cow, their prized possession and source of income, had suddenly stopped giving milk. Day by day, their pantry grew emptier, and worry etched deeper lines on his mother's face. They were at a crossroads, with hunger knocking at their door. One morning, with a heavy heart, Jack's mother told him, "Jack, there's no other way. You must take our dear cow to the market and sell her for the best price you can get." Jack, understanding the weight of this task, nodded sadly and led their old friend down the dusty road. He hadn't gone far when a peculiar-looking old man with a long, white beard and twinkling eyes blocked his path. "That's a fine cow, young man," he said, "but I have something far more valuable to offer you in exchange." The man opened his hand to reveal 5 strange, colorful beans. "These are magic beans," he whispered. "Plant them, and they'll bring you a fortune beyond your wildest dreams." Jack was hesitant, but the man's words were so convincing, and the beans seemed to hum with a strange energy. Against all common sense, Jack agreed to the trade. He handed over the cow's rope and clutched the beans tightly in his hand, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. When Jack arrived home, he proudly presented the beans to his mother. "Look, a man gave me these magic beans for our cow," he exclaimed. But his mother's face didn't light up with joy. It turned red with fury. "Magic bean!" she cried out in disbelief and anger. "You traded our only hope for a handful of worthless beans." In her rage, she snatched them from his hand and threw them out the window into the garden. That night, Jack went to bed with an empty stomach and a heavy heart, listening to the wind howl and a storm rage outside. But when the sun rose the next morning, a breathtaking sight greeted him. Where the beans had landed, a colossal beanstalk had sprouted, its thick, green stalk twisting up, past the rooftops, and disappearing into the fluffy white clouds. Driven by an unstoppable curiosity and a spark of courage, Jack decided he had to see where it led. He bid his sleeping mother a silent farewell and began the long, difficult climb. Higher and higher he went, until the village below was just a tiny speck. Finally, he pulled himself over the top and found himself in a land unlike any he had ever imagined. He was standing on a solid cloud, and in the distance, a magnificent castle loomed, its towers piercing the sky. As he crept closer, he saw that the castle was home to incredible treasures, piles of glittering gold coins, sparkling jewels, and most wondrous of all, a beautiful goose that laid perfect, solid gold eggs. Just as Jack was marveling at the sight, the entire castle began to tremble. A booming voice echoed through the halls, making the very ground shake. "Fee-fee-fo-fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman." A monstrous giant, taller than the tallest trees, stomped into the room. His face was fearsome, and his eyes scanned the hall for intruders. Jack, terrified, dove behind a large sack of flour, his heart hammering against his ribs. He watched as the giant sat down to count his gold before dozing off. Seizing his chance, Jack tiptoed out, grabbed the magical goose, and scrambled back to the beanstalk, escaping just in time. The goose provided enough gold for Jack and his mother to live comfortably for a while. But Jack's adventurous spirit couldn't rest. He climbed the beanstalk twice more. The second time, he bravely snatched a heavy bag of gold coins right from under the giant's nose. On his third and final trip, he spotted a golden harp that played the most enchanting music all by itself. As he carefully lifted the precious instrument, it suddenly cried out, "Master! Master! A thief!" The giant awoke with a furious roar. This time, there was no hiding. The chase was on. With the giant's thunderous footsteps right behind him, Jack scrambled down the beanstalk as fast as he could. "I'm coming to get you," the giant bellowed from above, his immense weight making the entire stalk sway violently. Jack didn't look back. As soon as his feet touched the ground, he yelled, "Mother! Bring the axe! Quickly!" His mother, seeing the terrifying giant descending, rushed out with their sharpest axe. With all his might, Jack began to chop at the base of the massive stalk. Chop! Chop! The beanstalk groaned and splintered. With one final, mighty swing, it snapped. The giant let out a final, terrible cry as he came crashing down to the earth and was never seen again. From that day forward, Jack and his mother lived in peace and prosperity. The golden eggs and the beautiful music from the harp brought them endless joy and comfort. Jack, the boy who traded a cow for 5 beans, had become a hero. His story teaches us that sometimes a leap of faith, a dash of courage, and a bit of quick thinking can turn even the humblest beginnings into a legendary tale of triumph. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more adventures. See you next time!